Remembering the sounds and smells around her led Stephanie to believe that she was being held in some sort of workshop.
When I was in the box in the daytime and he opened his workshop to the public, I could hear him laughing and joking with people. And I could hear noises of a till, an old-fashioned cash till register. He had like a 70s telephone, which would ring, the old-fashioned ring. The microwave, I heard it ping. And I could hear trains in the distance, especially at night, when everything was quiet.
Also, he used a bucket for a toilet, and she was taking so many feet to get to that bucket. And when she got to the bucket, she could actually feel things on the wall. And so Stephanie actually began to build in her mind, which we actually listed the information, the format of the room.
The Stephanie Slater case was a landmark application of the cognitive interview in law enforcement in this country. Because effectively what they did, they isolated the senses. And the senses that we possess are incredibly strong receptors of information.
A few days into the interview, Stephanie revealed a remarkable recollection.
I asked him for a very strange thing.
People in trauma do extraordinary things, and that they are fighting for their lives, so they would do anything to save their life.
I just said, "Bob, can I give you a hug?"
Stephanie was doing everything that was natural to her, and that was to behave herself and to actually try and get a rapport going with him.
Remembering that hug triggered an avalanche of crucial information about the kidnapper.
He had a smell. Not BO, like a greasy, oily workman type smell. He was a couple of inches taller than me. He was thick-set, stocky. He was clean-shaven and hairs on the backs of his hands. And I hadn't at that time thought I must remember everything about this. And it turns out that he was exactly like that.
All Stephanie's descriptions were used to create an artist's impression of her kidnapper. The police went public to see if anyone recognised him.
Good evening. Tonight, once again, we're asking for your help to clear up some of this country's serious crimes.
In a few minutes, you'll hear the voice of the man who kidnapped Stephanie Slater.
Hello?
Have you got the money?
Who's this, please?
Never mind. Have you got the money? For tomorrow?
For tomorrow?
Yeah. Have you got it?
I'm getting it, yeah.
3 o'clock. You'll get a message at 3 o'clock.
A message at 3 o'clock tomorrow?
Yeah, and 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Crime Watch received over 5,000 calls about the crime, supplying the police with several leads. During the subsequent police investigation, officers visited one of the potential suspects at his place of work. What they discovered was a location that matched almost every single detail that Stephanie had described.
It was exactly how we imagined it. Everything she told us tended to be true. We had a toilet, a door. There it was in real life where Stephanie had been kept. And the smell of a hardware shop. You could actually see the railway line with the train going across.
The detectives knew immediately they had their man.
The police officers who had been and arrested him all came to congratulate the interview team, which was very nice, to say they'd never seen anything like it in their lives.
51-year-old Michael Sams was arrested and immediately confessed to kidnapping Stephanie and was charged with the murder of another young woman. Stephanie's contextual reinstatement was fundamental in both finding Sams and securing his conviction.
Michael Sams stood expressionless in the dock. Passing sentence, Mr. Justice Judge told Sams that he was an extremely dangerous and evil man.
The Stephanie Slater case showed the power of the cognitive interview, which is now seen as the gold standard technique when interviewing witnesses and victims of serious crimes. In previous episodes of Eyewitness, we've seen that these techniques have been extremely effective in helping the police piece together our staged crimes.
If you want like that.
But we have also discovered that witnesses can remember things that didn't happen.
The guy like, in the high-vis jacket was just standing over this other guy, kicking him.
You mag! Knock him out!
Forget things that did.
Sunglasses. Yeah, he had sunglasses on. Like a silver rim, thin silver rim.
And are very bad indeed at remembering faces.
Recognise number 4.
Number 10 looks familiar, but I don't know why.
I think number 7 was the chap who was just jumping about.
It's very difficult to say.
But it's not just accounts of crime that offer insight into memory fallibility. Claire, a nurse and mother, used to be, like everybody else, averagely bad at remembering details and faces. Then in 2004, a brain infection drastically affected her ability to remember almost anything.
I have a large part of my life which I've just lost, from the age of sort of 18, 20 to up to my illness in my mid-40s. A life when, you know, I met my husband, I've had my children and, you know, a busy working life. And I've lost all the memory of that time completely.
The brain damage caused by Claire's encephalitis means she also has a real problem recognising faces.
I don't know my family. I don't know my friends. I don't know my mum, my dad, my sisters, you know. And it's very difficult to live with.
Claire's condition is an extreme example of the eyewitness problem. But a remarkable technology that she is using could help us all with memory recall. Professor Martin Conway is a world authority on memory. He's been studying Claire for the past 18 months and has discovered that under certain circumstances, she can remember.
How are you? Good to see you. Thanks. Nice to meet you.
Press the left button. I remembered that, you see.
Very good.
There we go.
Claire is viewing photographs from a device called a sense cam, which she wears round her neck.
Here I am arriving at the house, unlocking the door. Do you want me to talk?
The sense cam records an image whenever one of its sensors are triggered by changes in light, temperature or motion.
Getting some water ready for the flowers.
Today, Claire is watching sense cam images from when her in-laws moved house 9 months ago.
What am I doing? Going off somewhere?
The theory is, because SenseCam takes pictures in an automated fragmentary way, and because the records are visual, and from the user's perspective, the images mirror and trigger our own personal memories in a way that ordinary photographs cannot. And if Claire's experience is anything to go by...
And now that is Judy. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's Judy.
It looks like the theory might be right.
Oh, I know, I remember now exactly what I did first, and that was get the flower. I'd taken a bunch of flowers so that when they arrived, they had a nice bunch of flowers in their new house.
It's helped me see the whole thing again, feel like I'm doing it and part of it.
There they are.
The images Claire looks at could be having a profound effect on her damaged brain. There are signs that using the SenseCam is helping to retrieve Claire's lost memories.
And I was walking towards the bus station, so there wasn't a set meeting place. I didn't know what Faye was wearing or anything. And I recognised her. It took my whole breath away. There she was. I knew it was her, and it was just the most incredible feeling. My sister. Faye. Oh.
If SenseCam can retrieve memories from those with neurological damage, can it help with the problem of eyewitness recollections? In a world first, Professor Conway will be investigating what effect, if any, the technology will have on our witnesses' recall of the first crime they saw. When they witnessed the pub fight, 2 of our volunteers, Chrissy and Graham, were wearing SenseCams. As they experienced every aspect of being at the pub, The sense cam was also taking snapshots from their point of view. Now a month later, they've travelled to the York Neuroimaging Centre, where Professor Martin Conway will show them their sense cam images to see if they stimulate their recall of the crime.
When you remember this event.
It's all taken by my
By your sense
by my
cam.
sense cam.
It's very exciting indeed. This is the first time that anyone's ever sense cammed a crime and then done a neuroimaging study of it. So it's a one-off.
Having seen their sense cam images, will Chrissy and Graham now remember the event in more detail?
I guess. I just remember it was really weird that the policeman was saying, what was the food like?
An MRI scan will reveal the level of brain activity.
What we're hoping to find is that the patterns of activation for the pub event are much more intense and much more extensive towards the back of the brain, where we believe visual episodic memories are stored.
Nice and still, here we go.
As a control, Martin first established how our volunteers' brains normally behave when accessing memories. They were first asked to remember emotional moments from their life.